is more important, to be thyself or to know thyself?
Do you think they are different? How can you know yourself if you are not yourself? And vice versa. How can be you yourself if you don't know who are you? To be thyself and to know thyself are not two separate things. Hence the question of choice does not arise. There are two aspects of a single process. You have to work on both together simultaneously. Neither can be neglected. But it is easier to start from being thyself. Easier because you have been distracted from yourself by others. The masks that you are carrying are not your own imposition. Unwillingly, reluctantly, you have been forced to be someone else than you are. Hence it is easier to throw it off. Slavery of any kind is easier to get rid of, because intrinsically, who wants to be a slave? That is not in the nature of any being. Human or not human. Slavery is against existence. Hence it is easier to throw it off. It always remains a burden. And deep down, you continue to fight with it, even though on the surface you follow it. But deep down, nobody can make you accept it. At the innermost core of your being, it remains rejected forever. Hence, it is easier to throw it off. The process is simple. Whatever you are doing, whatever you are thinking, whatever you are deciding, remember one thing. Is it coming from you? Or somebody else is speaking? And you will be surprised to find out the real voice. Perhaps it is your mother. You will hear her speak again. Perhaps it is your father. It is not difficult at all to detect. It remains there, recorded in you, exactly as it was given to you for the first time, the advice, the order, the discipline, the commandment. You may find many people, the priests, the teachers, the friends, the neighbors, the relatives, there is no need to fight. Just knowing that it is not your voice, somebody else, whosoever that somebody else is, you know that you are not going to follow it. Whatsoever the consequences, good or bad, now you are deciding to move on your own. You are deciding to be mature. Enough, you have remained a child. Enough, you have remained dependent. Enough, you have listened to all these voices and followed them. And where they have brought you? In a mess. So once you figure it out, whose voice it is, say goodbye to it. Because the person who had given the advice to you was not your enemy. His intention was not bad. But it is not a question of his intention. The question is that he imposed something on you which is not coming from your own inner source. And anything that comes from outside makes you a psychological slave. Sheila, put this light off. This is driving me Oregonian. It is only your own voice which will lead you into a blossoming in freedom. Yes, the path in the beginning will look dangerous because always you were holding the hands of your father, your priest, your rabbi, your mother. And when the child is holding the hand of the father, there is no fear, there is no danger. He can rely on the father. But now you are holding the hand only in imagination, there is no father. It is pure imagination. And it is better to know that you are alone and there is no hand supporting you, because then you will try to find your own way to protect yourself against dangers. It is dangerous to go on believing that you are still protected when you are not really protected. And that's what has happened to millions of people in the world. They feel they are protected by God, protected by all kinds of things. And there is no God and there is nobody to protect you. You are alone. And you have to accept your aloneness joyously. In fact, it is a tremendous ecstasy that nobody is holding your hand. My grandfather loved me very much just because of my mischiefs. Even in his old age, he was mischievous. He never liked my father, my uncles, because they were all against this old man's mischievousness. They all said to him that you are now 70 and you should behave. Now your sons are 50, 55, your daughters are 50, their children are married, their children's children are there, and you go on doing such things. That we feel ashamed. I was the only one with whom he was intimate, because I loved the old man. For the simple reason that he had not lost his childhood even at the age of 70. He was as mischievous as any child. And he will play mischief even on his own sons and daughters and son-in-laws. And they will be just shocked that I was his only confidant, because we conspired together. Of course, many things he could not do, I had to do. For example, his son-in-law was sleeping in the room. He could not go up the roof, but I could go. So we conspired together. He will help me. He will become a ladder for me to go to the roof and remove a tile. And just a bamboo with a brush attached to it. In the night, touching the face of the son-in-law, and he will scream, and the whole house will run there. What is the matter? And by that time we had disappeared. And he will say that there was some ghost or somebody just touching my face, and I tried to catch, but I could not catch, and it was dark. He remained utterly innocent. And I saw the great freedom that he had. In my whole family, he was the eldest. He should be the most serious and most burdened. So many problems and so many anxieties, but nothing affected him. Everybody was serious and worried when problems were there. Only he was not worried. But one thing I never liked, that's why I remembered him this moment, and that was sleeping with him. Because he had the habit to sleep with his face covered, and I will have to sleep also with my face covered with him. And that was suffocating. And I told him clearly that about everything I agree. But this I cannot tolerate. You cannot sleep with your face uncovered. I cannot sleep with my face covered. It suffocates me. You do it lovingly. He will keep me close to his heart and cover me completely. I said, that's perfectly good, but in the morning my heart will not be beating. Your intention is good, but you will be alive in the morning, I will be gone. So our friendship is out of the bed. He wanted me because he loved me and he wanted that. Why you don't come and sleep with me? I said, you know perfectly well that I don't want to be suffocated by anybody, even if his intention is good. You love me, and you would like to keep me close to your heart even in the night. In the day also, we used to go for a long walk in the morning, sometimes when it was moon in the night, but I never allowed him to hold my hand. And he will say, but why? You may fall, you may stumble upon a stone or anything. I said, that's better. Let me stumble. That is not going to kill me. That will teach me how not to stumble, how to be alert, how to remember where rocks are. But you holding my hand, how long you can hold my hand? How long you are going to be with me? If you can guarantee it, then of course I am willing. He was a very sincere man. He said that I cannot guarantee, even I cannot say about tomorrow. And one thing is certain, that you will live long and I will be dead. So I will not be there forever to hold your hand. Then I said, it is better for me to learn from now. Because one day you will leave me in the middle, helpless. And you have trained me to hold the hands. Then there are only two ways. Either I start living in a fiction